Let me ask you something. Why are we so convinced, completely, unquestionably convinced, that success is supposed to hurt? Who told you that? Who taught you that exhaustion is proof of seriousness? That rest is proof of laziness? That if you're not grinding yourself into the ground, you're not trying hard enough? Because I believed that for years. And then I quit. Not my job, not my goals. I quit the suffering, and everything changed.
Took you long enough.
30 days ago, I made a decision. I stopped doing things the hard way. No more 4 a.m. alarms I didn't need. No more 50-task to-do lists that made me feel like a failure every single night. No more spending 3 hours perfecting an email nobody cared about. And you know what happened? I got more done in less time, with less stress, and I actually remembered enjoying it.
Fascinating. Almost as if destroying yourself was never the point.
This video is about a book called Effortless by Greg McKeown. And I want to be honest with you. When I first heard the title, I rolled my eyes. Effortless? Sounds like something you'd find next to a scented candle.
And yet here you are, reformed, calmer, slightly less irritating.
The point of this book is not to be lazy. It's to stop making things harder than they need to be. And once I actually tried it, it broke my brain in the best way. So let's get into it. Here's something I've never admitted on this channel. Sometimes when work was going well, when I was in the zone enjoying the process, I felt guilty. Like I wasn't suffering enough to deserve the result. Is that insane?
No, it's the logical outcome of a broken equation.
What equation?
The one you were raised on. Effort plus pain equals success. So when the pain is missing, your brain panics. It assumes you must be doing something wrong.
So the enjoyment itself becomes suspicious.
Precisely. You start questioning whether you're being serious enough, whether you deserve what you're building, whether the absence of suffering means the absence of value. McKeown calls this one of the most damaging myths in modern productivity culture. The idea that the harder something feels, the more legitimate it is.
But that's everywhere. Every motivational video, every success story. I sacrificed everything. I slept on the floor. I'm built for this.
Yes, and those stories are compelling. They make for excellent thumbnails. They're also, in most cases, completely misleading.
So what does McKeown say instead?
He says, find the version of the work that allows you to sustain it, not the version that destroys you in 3 months. Work you enjoy, you do more of it, for longer, with better results. Work that feels like punishment, you avoid it, procrastinate on it, or burn out doing it. The math is embarrassingly simple.
So enjoying your work isn't a betrayal of success.
It's the strategy for success. You've simply been confusing the cost with the method.
Okay, new question. And this one genuinely bothers me. How does deleting tasks increase productivity more than adding them? Because every productivity system I've ever used told me to do more, track more, optimize more, schedule more. Are we actually worshiping fake business?
Yes.
Could you elaborate?
How many tasks are on your daily list?
Usually around 20.
And how many do you actually finish?
8, maybe 9 on a good day.
So every night you go to sleep with 11 things undone.
Yes.
And how does that feel?
Like I failed.
Even though you completed 8 tasks.
Pause. Yeah, even though.
Now, imagine your list had 3 tasks. 3 things you chose because they actually mattered. And you finished all 3.
I'd feel like I won the day.
You would have actually won the day. Not the version of winning where you completed 8 out of 20 and feel behind. The version where you completed 3 out of 3 and move forward. This is what McKeown means by the minimum effective dose, not the maximum possible effort. The minimum required to produce the maximum result.
But doesn't doing less mean achieving less?
Only if every task on your list is equally important, which they never are. You have 1 task worth 10 points and 19 tasks worth 1 point each. You spend all day on the 19. You never touch the 10.
And the 10 is the one that actually changes everything.
McKeown calls it the overachievement trap. You're so busy achieving small things that you never get to the thing that matters. Business is not a badge of honor. It's often just noise with a good work ethic attached to it.
So the goal isn't to have an empty calendar. It's to have the right things on it.
Finally, sips tea, we're making progress.
This one is personal. Why do we wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect energy, the perfect version of ourselves before we start? Is perfectionism just procrastination in an expensive suit?
That might be the most accurate thing you've ever said.
I spent 4 months not starting a project because it wasn't ready. 4 months of planning, outlining, rearranging.
And the project?
Still not done.
Shocking, truly. Here's what's actually happening. Perfectionism feels like ambition from the inside. It feels like you're raising your standards, being thorough, being responsible. But in most cases, it's protection.
Protection from what?
From starting something and discovering it's not as good as you imagined it would be. As long as the project stays in your head, it's perfect. The moment you put it into the world, it becomes real, imperfect, criticizable, yours. And that's terrifying.
So we keep it in planning mode forever because that feels safe.
McKeown's answer to this is disarmingly simple. He says, find the smallest possible version of starting, not begin the project. Open the file, not write the script. Write the first sentence, any sentence.
What if the first sentence is terrible?
It will be, doesn't matter. A terrible first sentence on a page is infinitely more valuable than a perfect first sentence in your imagination, because the one on the page can be improved. The one in your head is just keeping you stuck.
So the move is to lower the bar for starting, not for finishing.
Precisely. Make starting so small, so trivial, so easy, that your brain has no argument against it. You are not writing a script. You are just opening a document. You are not building a business. You are just making one call. The momentum comes from the motion, not from waiting until you're ready, because ready is not a destination. It's a myth people use to feel comfortable while standing still.
Okay, last one. And this might be the most honest question I've asked all video. Why do I spend more mental energy worrying about my work than actually doing it? I finish a video, it goes up, and instead of moving on, I'm refreshing the comments, replying to every criticism, lying awake at 2 a.m. wondering if one negative comment means everything I'm doing is wrong. Is that normal?
It's common. Common and normal are not the same thing.
What's happening there?
You're spending your most valuable resource, mental energy, on things that produce nothing. McKeown talks about this in terms of cognitive overhead. Every unresolved worry, every replayed criticism, every what-if scenario running in the background, it costs you energy. Real, finite, non-renewable energy. And that's energy you're not spending on the work itself.
So how do you stop it?
You practice what he calls effortless attention, which is not the absence of caring. It's the discipline of choosing where your care goes. Ask yourself, is this thought producing anything useful? If yes, act on it. If no, release it.
Easier said than done.
Most worthwhile things are, but here's a practical test. When a negative comment arrives, give yourself 60 seconds. Read it. Ask if there's anything genuinely useful in it. If there is, note it and move on. If there isn't, close it and move on. 60 seconds maximum. Not 3 hours, not a sleepless night. 60 seconds.
And the anxiety that comes back anyway?
That's your brain trying to protect you from a threat that doesn't exist at the scale it's imagining. Acknowledge it. Don't argue with it. And redirect your attention, deliberately, to the next useful action. It's a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it.
So the mental freedom isn't about not caring. It's about not wasting care on things that don't deserve it.
Long pause. Sips tea. I've been saying that for 6 episodes, but yes, you finally articulated it correctly.
So here's what the 30 days actually looked like. I stopped trying to do 20 things. I picked 3. I stopped waiting to feel ready. I started with whatever small step I could take that day. I stopped treating enjoyment as a warning sign. If the work felt good, I leaned into it. And I stopped giving my mental energy to things I couldn't control. The result? I finished a project I'd been avoiding for 4 months. In 2 weeks, my output didn't decrease, it went up. And I wasn't exhausted at the end of every day.
Because you stopped fighting yourself and started working with yourself.
Is that what effortless actually means?
Effortless doesn't mean zero effort. It means effort that flows instead of fights. The difference between swimming with the current and against it. You're still swimming, but one version gets you somewhere. The other exhausts you before you leave the shore. McKeown's entire argument is built on one premise. If something is essential, if it truly matters, then finding the easiest, most sustainable way to do it is not laziness. It is intelligence.
If there's one thing I want you to take from this video, just one. Stop treating suffering as proof of work. The goal is the result, not the pain you went through to get there. Choose 3 things today. Start with the smallest possible step. Make it easy enough that you have no excuse not to begin. And then just begin. Looks at Collins. Anything to add?
Stands. Prepares to leave. The most dangerous productivity myth is not that you need to work harder. It's that you need to suffer more to deserve what you're building. You don't. Final sip of tea. Now stop watching videos about effortless living and go live effortlessly. Collins flies off slowly.
Mark faces the camera one last time. Effortless by Greg McKeown. Genuinely one of the most useful books I've read. Link in the description. And if this video helped, you know what to do. See you in the next one.